from the control room at Artmore Studios.
This is Talking About Noise.
With your hosts, Artmore.
And your host, Eric Hansen. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
How's it going?
So I'm going to get my smoker voice going and talk like radio broadcasters. Dude, what's up, man?
Yeah.
That Motorhead
think it's a
show.
great idea.
Motorhead, tight.
I don't think we're going to get through the whole episode with you doing that. No offense.
So, how are you, Art?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We are in Studio B or Studio A.
This is Control Room A of Studio A.
Control Room A. Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes, there is no Studio B.
Oh.
So we only have Control Room in Studio A.
Right. I would just advertise it anyway. I'd be like, this is
All right,
Studio
we're gonna
A.
sign you for Studio A.
Yeah. When people come in, so here's Studio A. We have Studio B over there.
Studio B is behind that door there. It's just a closet. There's nothing there. Just don't go there.
No,
they're recording. They're doing a whole session over there.
Yes. See, exactly.
Don't bother
just
that.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah.
It's all about the presentation.
Is Studio B cheaper? No, actually, it's more expensive. You want Studio A. Oh, it's more expensive.
Actually, but then you're like, but if you want the platinum package, we could get you into Studio B.
Yeah.
That'll cost you another $1,000.
That's right. And it's an interface, a laptop, and a closet. That's it.
Yes. But we don't let people
It's
see
only
that.
available from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I don't know what we're talking about.
Yes, that would be
This
awesome.
is weird.
It's like the super creepy studio. Anyway,
Exactly.
good week.
Yeah, it is a good week. How about some news? Should we just cut right to the chase and get to our news?
Sure. Let's just. I feel like you're dying to give me news. Like you have something.
No, I
for
actually
me.
don't have anything.
Shut up.
I have some complaints about stuff, but we're going to get to that here in just that'll be part of the news segment.
That will be part of Art's Rant.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it Art's Rant.
That's fine. One word. I'm happy with that because I am ranting today. I am frustrated today.
Oh, good.
So
An angry Art
it's
is
a
a
little
happy
bit
Eric.
That's right. I'm rarely angry, and I rarely say things negative about pretty much anything. But
Yeah,
It's
we need to
coming
bring
today.
this out in you.
yeah, it's
We were
coming today.
talking about this the other day. How you were like, "Oh yeah, it's great, except this is awful,"
What were you talking about? The movie Final Fantasy from 2001 or
and you were like,
2002.
"Oh yeah, it was great, but it was a really horrible movie, but it was so great."
Yeah, I said something like that. It wasn't quite those words. I think it was a little more.
It's like this
nuanced.
super passive aggressive. I just don't want to offend anybody.
Well, I mean, I don't care about those guys. I liked one of the Final Fantasy games, and I'm not even sure how they're related because every Final
I
Fantasy
have no
game
idea.
is different from the other and has a different storyline and different people. But whatever. Yeah.
I just see the title and go, "Final Fantasy shouldn't have ended with the first one."
Yeah. No, I thought when I
don't
saw
know.
that movie, that was my first introduction to like the Final Fantasy world, and I was like, "Oh, this is the last one. Okay, well, we should watch this."
Oh yeah, it's over. We need
They're
to.
not going to do anything else after this. This is it. This is the final.
Yay.
Anyway, all right. What's happening in the news?
Okay, I got some really sad news for you, Art.
What's going on?
Oh.
Are you okay?
So sad. So Kelly Clarkson is canceling the rest of her tour.
Oh, that is sad.
And I hate to break it to you, she canceled like a month before you got to go. If only she would have canceled before you went, you would have gotten out of it, but
I'm just not sure. I enjoyed her concert. Did I not make that clear?
deep down inside you were like, could have gone to the Motorhead tour.
And I should go to more concerts. My son is really getting into music. He had his first drum lesson today.
Yeah, what are we made out of money?
I don't know.
Concerts are expensive.
Concerts are expensive, but like I never go to any. Like I don't.
You need to get out more.
I need to get out of the house more.
Take your kids. to the show.
You took me to a BYU game this last week, and that was the most fun I've had in a long time. Just getting out of the house.
Yeah, that's because the first time I got you out of Control Room B.
Control Room A of Studio A.
Yeah. You don't leave the control room often enough.
Can you blame me? Look at this room. This room is amazing. I've got my
Yes.
gaming computer here. It's the same computer as my other computer.
Yeah.
I've got my electronic drum set. I've got 6 guitars in here and a pretty decent amp.
Yeah.
So why would
Yeah.
I ever leave?
would you ever?
I've got water in the closet for clients.
You have a vending machine,
There's no
just
vending
like
machine.
dishes the food out to you. It's like a food tube. I'm
I
done.
do have a sandwich tray from the kitchen that comes right down here. So my wife, it's like one of those
Oh my gosh.
dumb waiters. All right. So
Okay, so real
poor
news.
Kelly Clarkson.
Real news.
That's
Real news.
that's sad. I
No,
think
no,
she
no.
announced her pregnancy as well. So there's probably a lot of issues that go into that. But
Yeah, that whole pregnancy thing. Who wants to do that?
that can be tough for women. I've heard. I don't really know.
Ugh,
My wife was a champ. She just sailed through.
whatever. Deal with it.
So
Put on my deal with it sunglasses.
All right. What's next?
Okay, so get this. This is awesome.
Awesome news.
When I saw this, I was laughing so hard. Okay. So imagine, those like websites that creep up. It's like super fan site of so-and-so supermodel, and they'll have like the bio and every single picture of said supermodel, right? And it's
Some
always run
chick.
by these weird
Oh
guys.
yeah, weird guys or girls.
I'm
sometimes.
fairly certain this
Fan
is what is
pages.
happening to the late Whitney Houston.
What?
Get this. Whitney Houston will return to the stage as a hologram next year. The project is being organized by Hologram USA in conjunction with Pat Houston, the singer's sister. Quote, I was heartbroken when Whitney passed away in 2012. Hologram USA and Filmon CEO Alki David said, the opportunity to share her spectacular gifts with the world again is exactly what I hoped for when I built the hologram business. I'm confident we'll create the ultimate celebration of Whitney. He's taking her hologram on tour across the country and potentially across the world.
Whoa. That's freaky, man.
I know, right? I was like, that's a whole new level of bizarre. And you can tell by his statement that he was just like itching. He was just like, oh, ew, like, Whitney Houston's gone. I need something. I need to do something. I'm going to make a hologram of her.
Let's make a hologram of her. Let's do this.
Since he's the president and CEO of Hologram USA, and that was his first move.
Okay.
I know, right? You just kind of look at it and you're like,
From what I've noticed about holograms, you can see them pretty well from one angle. But can you see them well
okay,
from
so
all the way around?
well,
I don't really
let's just
know.
be clear. Holograms don't really exist yet. The technology is not really there. It's like a fake digital projection.
Well, holograms, right, which is what this is real. Holographs, which have like physical manifestation to them.
No,
that doesn't
but it's like a
exist
trick
yet.
of the eye right now. It's not like Star Wars, where like this thing pops up and you get this real 3D image in front of you.
Yeah, okay,
right?
I can see that.
It's like they play tricks on your eye to make it look,
Right, okay.
or
Oh, man.
they use visual tricks.
This is going to be so weird.
I know, it's so
Why?
weird. I almost want to go just to be like, that was the weirdest thing I've ever.
But why? I mean, like, it's not any better than watching her on TV or on a video or a DVD.
It's going to be
You know?
interactive.
It's going to be interactive.
Yeah, that's what he says.
So
I have
there's
no
an AI
idea what that
component
means.
to it as well.
I have no idea
Oh
what that means.
man,
How awesome! Like a digital Whitney Houston greets you as you walk in. Digital Whitney Houston serves you. Okay,
Whatever.
this is just getting bizarre.
yeah, it's weird. Whitney Houston is on your little paper ticket. Thank you for coming to my.
She's actually talking to you. Anyway, bizarro news. As far as like other news, that was what I wanted to focus on.
I think that's good.
So, if you get a chance, check out Muse. Has covered one of my favorite bands, Churches.
Ooh,
It was awesome.
Very cool. That's awesome. All right. Well, I think it's time for the arts rant.
Ooh.
And I'm mad.
We need a special soundbite. Let's see.
I don't have special sound bites today. Are you
Dun,
gonna
dun,
make one?
dun, 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 dun. Arts rant.
I'm frustrated, and many people are frustrated by this same issue. And it is the DRM that companies use, specifically iLok, to make audio, to protect their audio plugins or software. This is a pain in the butt, and it doesn't work. I used to have an iLok years ago with.
So I'm assuming you have a
licenses
story.
on there.
There's got to be a story.
I don't
here.
have a particular story in it. I'm just angry. I'm done. I'm finished.
Wait, there's no story, but
There's
you're
no story.
just angry.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of
Did you
like
read something online?
the whole iLok thing. Yeah, I read something somewhere, or maybe I listened to somebody else's rant and it got me mad, and so I'm ranting now as well.
So
And-
please describe iLok.
So iLok is a USB dongle, okay, and it's fairly large and it sticks straight out. That
I think dongle should be word of the day.
hey, sure, yeah.
Hey!
So it's a USB dongle that sticks out of your computer.
Yay!
And it authorizes the use of plugins and your software.
Yeah, stupid.
So depending on the software you use, if you use Pro Tools, if you use maybe even Cubase does it, but most of them have an iLok, and all of the plugin manufacturers, so Waves, Steven Slate, all of them like have
The iDongle.
yeah, exactly. You have to have an iLok with it, and maybe this is where the experience comes down to, is because Steven Slate Trigger makes use of the iLok too. You have to have an iLok to run Steven Slate Trigger. I would like to purchase Steven Slate Trigger, but I have sworn that I'm not going to use an iLok because I want to have the freedom to do with my software what I want, and I don't want to have something that if I'm in the middle of a session and have to bring up a plugin or a project, I don't want my iLok to poop out on me for some reason, or move my computer, because I often move stuff around here, and have it break off or break just enough so that nothing works now, and I'm in the middle of a session, I can't do anything.
Have there been lots of complaints about people breaking their iDongle?
People have broken their iLoks before.
I'm calling them the iDongle.
I don't know. You're so weird.
But celebrate anyways, the iDongle.
I am frustrated. I am angry about it. Enough so that I've switched over to pretty much all
non-iLok.
That's right.
Plugins.
All non-iLok plugins. And I just want to give a shout out to my favorite plugin makers who don't use iLok. Valhalla.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Kudos.
So Valhalla Room, Valhalla Vintage Verb, Valhalla Shimmer. There's a whole bunch of those which are great. Stillwell Audio makes fantastic stuff and does not require an iLok.
Good for them.
So love that. And my third favorite is Klanghelm. I can't get enough of these guys, man. You get one plugin, and
that's the best name ever.
It's a German name.
Klanghelm.
Yeah, exactly. So and the last one is Tone Boosters. They also do not require an iLok. So I am on an iLok free crusade. I want to free everyone from the freaking iLok.
Let's do it.
So
this is going to be our cause.
So frustrating.
Okay, so pink ribbons have been taken. White ribbons have been taken. How about we'll do blue, white, and pink ribbons for iLok awareness?
Yeah, like a Neapolitan
iLok awareness.
iLok awareness.
Anti-iLok
Free the
awareness.
audio users from their iLok.
We'll start selling Neapolitan ribbons.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Like, come support the cause.
The anti-iLok.
Fight the iLok.
We should at least make T-shirts. Something that says,
Yeah, you know how nerdy that would be.
You wouldn't lock up your mother. Why lock up your software?
That would be so. You wouldn't download your mother, would you?
Well, and the thing is that people who use cracked software, the iLok is not going to stop them.
iLok 2 has.
It has stopped them?
iLok 2 has not been cracked.
It has not been cracked? I don't even believe it.
I don't know that. I don't know where I heard that.
I'll have to do some research on that, because
but
all
all
DRM will be cracked eventually.
If we did an awareness campaign, had like T-shirts, people would stare at us. What's that all about?
Yeah, and then we have to sit there and go, well, you see, I'm an audio engineer.
So we don't like this thing called the iDongle.
The iLok.
And they'll go.
And it's frustrating to use.
Oh, you guys are nerds. But would you like to donate $10 to our anti-iLok campaign? Boom.
Yeah, okay. I could donate $10. Where do I sign?
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It totally works.
All right.
We should go door to door. I love this.
Yeah, this has just gotten weird.
No, door to door.
Door to door.
Anti-iLockers.
Anti-iLok. Like that's the worst. That's the worst way for to hone in on the people who care about this issue.
Good point. Okay.
I'm just saying it's a bad way. All right, Art's rant is done. Let's move on.
Art's rant is over. Dun, 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 dun.
How's it going, Eric?
Good, Art. We started the podcast about half an hour ago, but thank you for joining.
I heard you had a little lyrics segment for us.
I do.
Some interesting things to talk about with lyrics.
We are. We're going to talk about lyrics. Lyrics.
So if you are not a lyricist, I am not a lyricist.
Huh?
How do you suggest one gets started writing lyrics?
Okay, we've already been over the getting started guide.
Oh.
So we're way past that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about something far more enjoyable today.
All right, let's do it.
Speaking of, I have gone on a hip-hop and rap crusade.
Against hip-hop and rap?
No, I mean, not crusade. Crusade's the wrong term. Conversion.
Conversion, okay.
So I've listened to a ton of it and really focused on the lyrics, like people that are considered like the best.
Ooh.
Just to be like, I'm going to really expand my lyrical horizon.
Okay.
See what I can do. That's my show that I'm
Oh, no. It's good to know.
I'm growing.
Yeah. No, we need to see more growth out of you.
Anyway,
in this area.
Guess what we get to talk about?
Lyrics.
What part of lyrics?
The writing them down part.
Yeah, you're way off. Cliches.
Oh, cliches.
It's gonna be fun.
Love them or hate them. Here they are.
I love how we're cracking ourselves up. Woo! Oh, that's just brilliant.
I just cliched this up, yo.
Okay. So, the problem with cliches is, by definition, they're overused to the point that they've lost their meaning.
Okay.
For example, right? If I were to say, she is strong as a bull, he eats like a horse, their ship came in, right? We know what those mean.
Yeah.
But we're at a point in culture, technology, society where that has no meaning at all. Right?
Exactly.
We understand it, and you hear it and you go, ugh, ship came.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my ship to come in. Okay, whatever.
Really?
Whatever,
okay.
man. So that's the problem with cliches, is it makes us kind of cringe. We hear it in pop music a lot, fortunately. Okay, so I'm going to give you just some cliched phrases, such as, hurts so bad, feel the pain, take my hand. Let's see, the end of time, losing sleep.
Your mother never knew when to quit.
Your mother never.
I don't think that was a cliche. Sorry. I'm detracting from your lesson.
I think you're trying to offend me subtly. Your mother never knew when to quit. Okay. Done you wrong. Asking too much. No tomorrow. Just some of these phrases that are just kind of tear me apart. Play the game. Oh, baby. Just these things that, especially oh, baby.
Right.
Like baby and oh, baby, overdone.
Yeah. Baby. Or baby, oh. Just that word in general. It's cliched.
Yeah.
Now you have to use
it
bae.
totally is.
You
Which
have to say bae now.
Right.
Oh,
that's
bae.
Someone was like,
bae.
okay, baby's cliched. What can we use? Nothing else rhymes. Just say bae.
Dude, just take the letter out. Just
Next thing it'll just be B.
Yeah.
Hey, and then yeah. So cliched rhymes. Let's get an example of rhymes that are cliched, such as kiss and miss, talk and walk.
How about legit and quit?
Okay, 10 points if you can name who sang that song in the 1990s.
Yeah, wasn't that Vanilla Ice? Too legit to quit? No.
What? For
Who did
real?
that?
For
Oh my
real,
gosh, this is
man?
embarrassing.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I learned the whole hand gestures and watched the music video 100 times.
I never saw the music video.
My friend recorded it, so we had to watch it. Too legit to quit. Hey. Okay, it was MC Hammer.
Right.
I was
Okay.
totally.
I feel really.
I was
embarrassed
so
'cause I
into
knew
MC
that.
Hammer when I was a kid, and you know what? I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I even went to an MC Hammer concert and I loved it.
You know
So
what? MC Hammer was fantastic, and the
Yeah.
parachute pants, they were a huge fashion statement. And for much of my high school career, kids in my school wore parachute pants everywhere.
Oh yeah, and I had the MC
Shaved into your head?
shaved into my head.
Oh,
and
man.
side, and I wore the pants. I was totally into it.
Oh, you were really into it.
Yeah. Then I found out that
I can't believe I said Vanilla Ice.
Can't Touch This was just sampling that other song. My mind just went blank, by Ricky, what's his name? Dave Chappelle makes fun of him. Blackness.
Rick James?
Ricky James?
Rick James?
No. Is that it?
His name is Rick James.
Is that it? Yeah.
Okay.
Super Freaky. That's the song.
Yeah.
Super Freak. She's super freaky. Right? So that's...
Yeah, that's Rick James.
That is... Are you sure it's not Ricky Martin? Pretty sure it's Ricky Martin. Now you're good. Now you don't believe in yourself.
I'm pretty sure it's not Ricky Martin.
Totally
Super
Ricky
Freak?
Martin.
Super Freak sounds like Rick James.
So Super Freak, like the whole underlying song of that was totally ripped off by MC. But
yeah,
anyway.
Google tells us that Super Freak was Rick James for sure.
Yeah, it was. And Prince, or not Prince, Dave Chappelle makes fun of him. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. I love how you had to Google Ricky Martin too, just to make sure you remembered who he was.
Oh, I know who he is.
He's that white Latino dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so more cliches such as knees and please, maybe, baby, right? Stuff that just makes you go, ugh. Okay, cliched metaphors. Okay, a storm for your anger. Okay, darkness for ignorance and sadness.
All right.
Fire for love, passion.
Okay.
Rain for tears.
That is really cliched. You know?
Seasons for the stages of life or your relationship.
Ooh.
Right. Prisoner of love.
Ooh. I got one. Chili for farts. That's a cliche, right?
No. Light for
Wasn't
knowledge.
even funny enough to laugh at.
Light,
Okay. Yeah, light for knowledge. Yeah, that's a bad one too.
I'm just going to cover that one up. Where in the world did that come from? Sometimes I look at you and I just think...
I don't even know you anymore.
Right.
I think that's cliched as well.
Dang it. Okay, so...
I don't even know who you are anymore.
So it's not that cliches are necessarily bad, right? Cliches are used all the time. And the problem is that they're boring, okay?
Well, you have to either eschew them or completely like jump in and embrace them, right?
But
if
you're going to use cliches, you can actually use them and get a meaning out of them that may be different than what was originally.
Yeah.
So he gives an example of a song that was written by two guys named Sammy Fain and Irvin Call. And so the cliche is, I'll be seeing you, right?
Okay.
And they set it up, the lyric is set up in this way. The first part says, I'll be seeing you. In the old familiar places, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. So now all of a sudden they change the scenario to, I'll be seeing you as in, I'll miss you, you're going away, to, oh, I'll be seeing you metaphorically, through some connection when we both look at the moon together. That kind of thing. Like,
your visage is burned into my retinas.
So vivid.
That was definitely not a cliche.
No. Wow. Although, if you try and write a lyric like that, burn the visual hue into my retinas, that may work.
Yeah.
I've got a hit song.
Let me get my guitar. Hold
and
on.
now Art with his hit song, Burned into My Retinas. So anyway, the whole idea is we need to avoid cliches whenever possible. So when you're writing your song, okay, and you have the basic outline and you actually find some cliches, try and play around with it, right? Maybe try and do something that's not so cliched, or maybe try and change the meaning of it. Right.
And I think one thing that helps with this is getting outside like advice, because cliches, when you write them yourselves, are sometimes hard to see. When you've written something and it is a cliche, you can read over and you're like, it's such a gorgeous thing. Yeah, because it's been done so much. It's been done to death. I mean, that horse has been beaten to death. So you need
That
to
was a
get,
cliche.
you need to get someone to come in, read over your lyrics, and kind of help you find those cliches if you have
Yeah,
them.
that's a good idea. So anyway, the homework this week is try your own experiment of writing down your own cliches. Try and come up with your list of cliches on your own, and then keep that in your book. Bank up.
The knowledge bank. I love it.
When you're
That sounds great.
so I feel like I'm gonna be drowning in love because there's a storm of my anger, and now we'll dispel the darkness of your ignorance. I just threw in.
Whoa.
I'm just trying to throw cliches out.
Whoa, that was pretty intense.
That was.
We just got cliched up the
You got
wazoo there.
cliched. So anyway, just some ideas on avoiding listening to some cliches, and let's move on to the production segment.
Here we go. Today we're going to hit up a song that I'm working on. Actually, it's this guy's song right here, Eric Hansen, Forever Timeless. He is continuing his basement concert series of YouTube videos, and this is his latest one. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he sent me the stems this last week, and we've been just kind of hitting it and trying to make things sound good. So here's kind of like what we're here at the chorus, and we're going to listen to it just all put together after I've mixed it to hear how it sounds. And Eric, as we go along, if you have questions, just ask them, or if you have questions that you think our listeners would have, like as we go through, just ask them. Here we go. Okay, we're going to start right here. So the first thing I like to do when I get a mix like this is I dump everything in and I start organizing everything. So I've got several tracks here. One is just my drum track. This is what that sounds like by itself. Okay, and then I have my bass track here. And here are all the guitar tracks together. And finally, the Vox. So all of the harmonies. And for some reason, actually, I have one harmony. It's kind of an oddity, and I needed to process it differently than I did the rest. And so it's sitting out kind of in a different folder. But here are the all the.
For real? Huh.
Yeah, I do. For some reason, every once in a while, I'll get a track that needs to be kind of completely separate from everything else I'm doing for volume reasons or for processing reasons or something. And so it gets pulled out of the Reaper folder and kind of becomes its own folder. So here are the vocals just by themselves.
We are forever timeless.
And we're going to talk about that distorted voice here in just a little bit and how that comes into play. As we take a look at these drums here, my favorite thing to do, first off, is to make sure I get that kick just kicking. So here it is.
So would that be considered a cliche? Kick just kicking. I'm just throwing it.
I'm not sure that would be a cliche, particularly to get the kick kicking,
or maybe redundant. There we go.
Redundant, yeah, redundant. Very, very good. But sometimes you just want the kick pumping, or you want the kick thumping, or you want the kick just
Stop.
Okay. You want to play the game? I'll play the game. I'll play the game all day.
We are going to throw down. This just got real.
All right. So I have two plugins on this guy, compression and EQ. So my compressor I'm using is the MJUC from Klanghelm. And yes, they always use kind of weird letters to label their plugins that way.
It's such a German thing.
And the EQ is just the let's see, the 1973 EQ I have on the kick there. And oh wait, you know what? Let me change that. I have two different plugins. I made a mistake here. I have the Rocket compressor from Stillwell, and I also have the 1973 from Stillwell as well. Now, one thing I do, and one of the reasons I have to do this is because I record bass drums with a microphone that is not scooped already. So most bass drum mics have a scoop built into them, so you get that modern kick sound. And I use a large diaphragm dynamic mic that is a broadcast mic, so it's not scooped. So I have to, in addition to adding my own scoop, I have to kind of make up for the scoop that I would find in a different mic anyway. These drums are actually, are these from Addictive Drums or from Simple Drummer? Super Drummer? What's the drum program you use?
It's Addictive Drums.
These are Addictive drums. Okay, so he actually just sent me the stems from the actual the sampled ones. And even if I get sampled drums, I tend to process them. I do this very similar processing. Sampled drums tend to be pretty like really good quality, but not. I don't think that they really process them overly. They sound very natural to me. So when I want something to sound more modern and maybe not as natural, I'm gonna do my high compression, and I'm really going to accentuate the higher frequencies of the smack to get that modern kick. So here's that kick again. And I've noticed that when you are mixing kick drum for, like all of these iPods and tablets and stuff, you're not going to get that low end. So you need that high smack to be able to get the kick to kind of like come out in that kind of situation.
Interesting.
So we're at about 7,000 hertz here, and I've boosted about, 5 dB on that to get that to come out a little bit. And here it is one more time. And we're compressing about, anywhere from 5 to 10 dB to get that nice sound.
Great.
And I do a similar thing with the snare as well. So here we are with the snare and the kick. And I do have reverb already kind of in here. So here it is without the reverb. All right. Now, Eric was nice enough to give me a whole bunch of extra stuff, which I loved. I got overheads, hi-hats, toms, rooms, hi-hats. I had like 3 or 4 extra hi-hat tracks.
Because I didn't like the original hi-hat sound.
Yeah.
So I added more.
You added more.
You can never have enough hi-hat.
Yeah, it was cool. What were you thinking when you...
Or cowbell.
Like, did you remove the hi-hat from the other kit completely, or was...
Yes.
You did. So this is actually the hi-hat. So, all right, well, here's everything in with no reverb, with light compression. I'm going to do everything except for the room mic here. So I'm going to mute that for us. Here we go. Hold on, here's just the drums. Okay, so now I want to take a look at this room mic. And I know it's a virtual room mic, but still, it's good to hear. And I'm going to take the compression that I have on here off. So here's what the room mic sounds like by itself. And here it is with the compression. And you can hear with that compression, it's just kind of smashed a little bit more. And that's a nice thing to kind of add thump to the rest of the kit as well. So I'm going to now mute and unmute the room mic with the rest of the drums. So here are the drums without the room mic. And here it is with the room mic. Here it is without. And here it is with. So it's a slight change. What do you think about that, Eric?
So I thought about it a lot.
And this is the kind of back and forth you've come to expect from us here at Talking About Noise.
No, that was cool. I like
Yeah.
what you did there.
It's kind of fun to do that kind of stuff.
And this is what you can expect when you become a platinum member of
Talking
About
Noise.
Noise.
MMM,
Silence.
the multi-level marketing arm of our operation here. Okay, we're going to add the reverb back in there. Here's what it sounds like with the reverb now. And the reverb I'm using here is Valhalla Room. Okay, so Eric first sent me, and none of this is like a criticism of Eric. Like, he always sends me great
Totally
tracks.
a criticism.
No, definitely not. But he sent me a bass track that was pre-distorted, which sometimes can work. Let's take a listen to this real quick.
Well, yeah, I ran it through an amp.
Oh, so that was the amped sound?
Yeah.
Cool. And I just felt like when I listened to that with everything else, it kind of had a hard time fitting quite right. Here it is with everything. So I had him also send me the clean track as well. And if you are sending something to somebody to be mixed and you have the direct tracks, it's always a great idea to send those along too, just in case. Anyway, so here it is with here's the bass track all by itself. And I'm running that through a virtual amp and then through the Rocket compressor from Stillwell. And also I added a distortion on there. So I used the JS distortion
which is a plugin in Reaper.
Yeah. So that's kind of a fun one.
Because we're Reaper people.
I'm actually going to turn the distortion up and let you hear how that works, and then I'll turn it back down to where I had it.
That's the same plugin I use to distort my voice.
That's the same plugin you used. Okay, good.
Just so you know.
Yeah, that's really interesting. We're going to get to the distorted voice here in a little bit. So here it is, that the clean bass reprocessed by me in the mix, and here's how that came out. It just feels a little smoother to me, like it just kind of fits a little bit better. But
totally.
if we only had the distorted track, we could have made that work just fine too. So there are two main guitar tracks, and I find that when I have two main guitar tracks like this, I really have to figure out, like, where do I want everything to live? At this point, everything kind of has its home moving up. So the drums are in stereo, the overheads are. So one gets panned left, one gets panned right. The bass and the snare are right up the middle, and the bass in general is going to be a mono bass signal. It's going to be right in the center. So when I get to things like the guitar tracks, I want to figure out, where does this end up living? Is this a stereo track? Is this in the middle track? Is this somewhere in between? And then also, where does it live vertically as well? Is it a bass heavy track? Is it going to live lower? Or does it need to pop out in the mid to the high range? And then after I'm all done with that, I still have to figure out, how does it fit in with the vocals? So, lots of EQ kind of changes here. But with my first guitar track, I felt like this one should be in stereo. So here that is. And here, let's see, here's the stereo off. And all I'm using for that is a delay. So I'm using the Haas effect for that, and just delaying, with the one side of the delay, I think like 20 or 30 milliseconds.
Like, what an awesome guitar line, matching the reverb with the beat. I mean,
yeah, I don't really want to talk about that
really
as much
did
right
that?
now.
That is just right.
And I think that's the one thing that I've learned from mixing your stuff is, like, all of your tracks come extremely clean and ready to be mixed. Like, your tracks are ready to go. Edited, simple, I was able to do this mix in an hour because it was so straightforward and things worked together. Like the brilliance of this song is not in my mixing. It's in the recording and the mastering, which is where it should, or the recording and the writing, which is where it should be. Compliment over.
I
All right.
seriously feel like I should be at the Emmys. I want to thank Art for getting me here.
This conversation's over. All right, here we go. Our second guitar part ended up kind of living a little bit more in the center. So here's where that ended up. And when you put those guys together, so we're still going to run into how do we fit the vocals in here when we get to that point. So we have to watch out for that. But with the second guitar, there's actually a kind of a mid boost that I added to kind of help accentuate that forward. So here it is without that. So no mid boost. And then here's the mid boost. So you can kind of hear it just cuts through a little bit better and adds to it. And both guitars are pretty much playing the very similar things. But it just helps with the orchestration and kind of like, making that tapestry even richer than it already is. All right. Should we get to the distorted vocals? I feel like we should get to the distorted vocals.
Yes, I was begging to get to the distorted vocals.
You are so interested in this. All right. So this is the track that Eric sent me. It's a distorted vocal for the chorus.
We are forever timeless. We are forever timeless.
And when I first heard it, I was not a big fan because it's such a main thing of the chorus. So like getting it to kind of like come out correctly I was worried about it a little bit. So he also sent me the dry track as well. Here's that.
We are forever timeless.
And so I thought, well, what if I just did the same idea, but I made the distortion like one that I felt more comfortable with. So I used the SDRR plugin from Klanghelm, and I did just that. And so that's how this kind of came out.
We are forever timeless. We are.
And I did a lot of that processing like in the mix while the mix was going, so I could kind of hear how it processed with it. And then I realized I liked your distorted vocal way better. Like after everything I did, I was like, oh, you know what? Eric's is better. So Eric's, your original distorted vocal
That's
that
funny.
you sent me is the one that ends up in there.
We are.
Yeah, it was like,
forever
first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that's terrible. After I tried to remake it, I was like, man, that's brilliant. He did such a great job with that. So it ended up
That's so funny.
and Eric does a great job of kind of telling us what's going on with harmonies and stuff when he sends me tracks, and I really like that. So we have the high harmony here, and then oohs, and when you get to the oohs, you'll hear them for sure. But yeah, here's both of those voices on the chorus here.
We are forever timeless. We are forever timeless.
Now, I want you guys to realize we are now at the point where we're getting real vocals from Eric, which is awesome. There used to be a time when Eric would be like, no, these are just scratch vocals.
Yeah, you're right.
That is no longer.
I did not give that caveat.
Yeah, these are real vocals here, and
That caviar.
they're coming across really well.
Interesting.
Again, we have to figure out where does everyone live in this. High, low, distorted or not. Where does everyone live? And for me, the high vocals, I wanted them up high, and I wanted them kind of like to pop in that moment. So I did another Haas effect delay and stereo widened them to
Cool.
both sides. And then with the distorted, I put an EQ on there to kind of make it a little more tight and a little more telephony. So here's how all that comes together with the band in there as well. And we are forever timeless. I don't think that's a cliche.
We're not. That's not what the song is about.
No. I'm making it.
I'm an artiste.
I want it to be.
I'm offended.
No, once it gets out into the public, you can no longer tell people what it's about.
I know. Then I have to be like,
whatever they say.
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to you?
What? How did the lyrics in your life?
I think it means I should leave my wife and abandon my children. What? No. That's
not what I meant.
All
right, well, I guess
that's what it means to me.
If you paid for it, well, I guess go for it. Good luck with you, Bucko.
If I inspired you to do something better with your life, don't leave your wife and your children. That's not what we're saying. That's not a stance.
Well, Art was condoning that, only slightly.
All right, and the final thing here we're going to talk about in this course are the oohs, which, man, if you don't swallow this up in reverb, I just don't know.
Yeah, you have to swallow up in reverb.
Here it is.
That was the point.
Yeah, here it is. And my question is, are they reverby enough? Should we go higher with the reverb?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
But turn the volume back down.
Yeah, we'll turn the volume back down.
To compensate.
So, all right, let's hear that one more time. We're mixing right here in the moment. We're making decisions right here.
Yeah, because I like that, how it trails off.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm the artist in the studio with the recording engineer telling you what to do.
Right here in Studio A.
This is not what you do as a recording engineer.
You can do it some, but yeah, mostly you want to make these decisions on your own if you can. Like get a lot of this stuff done before you show it to the person. And I've only had one person where I mixed their stuff. They came in and recorded, and I mixed all their stuff, and I sent it back to them. They're like, "This is not even close. You're so far off. This is not even
that's so funny.
At all." And so after a while we parted ways, but I never could get their vision.
Yeah, well,
so
whatever.
I had no idea what they
can't
wanted.
make everyone happy.
I didn't. That day I didn't seem like I could make anyone happy.
I know. I was mad at you.
So I went upstairs and gave my dog a treat.
Oh,
he threw up.
On you. It's like,
no, it was on the floor, but I had to clean it up. It was a mess. I was just like,
and then you texted me, life is so hard. I was like, shut up, Art. Suck it up.
Use less reverb.
I'm sick of your crap. And use less reverb, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I just told you more right there.
Exactly. On my master bus, I did a little bit of a low shelf at 60 hertz just to bring down the very low. And I used a multi-band compressor and turned off all of the auto makeup gain on this one. So I went through and adjusted the gain myself on each band of my multi-compressor. And widened the field a little bit with a plugin. Speaking of plugins that don't require iLok.
Here we go. Beautiful.
There's a whole series of plugins called the GVST, and they are free. You can download them, and they're fantastic.
They're free?
Yeah.
Free 99. That's even better.
And they're good. That's the thing, is they're actually good. I actually really enjoy using them.
And they're good.
And they're good.
This is too much to ask for.
Yeah. So this the G Stereo plugin was nice because they have all kinds of different width things.
A stereo widener?
Here with the bass width, the mid width, and the high width, so you can actually do it by frequency.
Cool. Actually, I like that.
And change those bands as well. So that's a really cool one for doing that. And I thought you would enjoy this on my desk amp. I have a plugin. I have a plugin that kind of colors everything. I use the Master 80s desk. Master for you on that. So.
Master 80s?
Yeah.
Like to sound like Def Leppard?
Yeah, well, it's like it's the sound that they would have used on mastering in the 80s.
Oh.
record, which I thought was fun. But it sounded good for this one. And that's pretty much it. On this mix, I had a dynamic range of about 13, which is fantastic. That's really high.
Great.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah. We'll talk about dynamic range sometime on the podcast.
So you got to send it to me.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't wait to get
I
it.
sent this last one to you last week.
No, you just changed it. You changed the reverb.
Oh yeah, no, I did. I
now you
changed
have
the
to redo
reverb
the
on
whole
this.
thing.
I'll re-render this and send it to you.
I demand a new copy.
I'll send it to you. We can do that. That's not a problem.
By Zeus's beard.
By Zeus's beard, I demand a copy. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome, Art.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's my segment. So here we go. It is time for Picks of the Week, Eric.
It is. It's the end of the podcast.
Can you believe it?
Thanks for listening, Art. I mean, great to have you here in your studio. I'm glad you could come.
Yeah, I feel like you're saying everything I should have said.
Oh, right.
Like quite literally.
Yeah. Quite literally, not metaphorically.
Yeah.
Okay, Picks of the Week. Are you ready?
Yes. Who's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is a band called Potty Mouth. I know, it's awesome. And the name of the song is called Cherry Picking. The clip has now ended. Thank you for listening to said clip. Okay, Art, what's yours?
So my pick of the week is a band called I think I used them a little while ago, but man, I've been listening to it all week and I can't get enough of them. It's the Bell Brigade. Bell Brigade.
Yeah, you've used them before.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Support them.
It's
Go
totally
buy
fine,
their
but-
music.
But man, when I keep coming back to an indie band so often, I feel like I need to give them another shout out, and that's what I'm
Okay,
doing this
do
week
it.
for sure. So
Right.
Yeah.
Bell Brigade
Yeah.
and Potty Mouth.
yeah, definitely
Go.
that. All right. Well, thanks for listening to our show this week. Remember, you can support us by going to our website, leaving a comment, or tweeting us at Artmore Studios or at I Am the Swoop.
Or share the podcast with a friend
That's
and
really
a neighbor.
what you can do. Yeah, that's really the thing you can do to help is
Download it to burn it onto a CD and then hand that CD to a friend.
Exactly. That's the way to share it.
That is the
Or
way.
you could go to any of those Facebook groups that you belong to where people are listening to audio stuff and just tell them, hey, these guys aren't that bad.
Oh, right. Facebook.
That's a thing.
That's social.
People are doing that.
Ugh.
I heard.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
thanks for listening.
Make sure you use hashtag Team Art if you enjoy art a little bit better.
Oh, boy.
Or
here we go.
hashtag Team Eric if you think Eric's lyric segments are better or more helpful. And we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. All right.
We're out of here.